Do civil engineering contracts and billing rates not allow for personalization of salaries? I'll try to be more clear than the title. From what I've seen at firms, engineers in a similar role at a firm are all generally paid about the same. There's not much room for personalization of a salary. For example, one project manager may be taking on a lot of responsibility and having a great impact on their project, while another project manager may be struggling to stay afloat. If these two project managers have the same years of experience, certifications, etc., they'd be getting paid the same despite one having a larger impact. I'm thinking, is this because there's no justification for the client to pay a higher billing rate when on paper the company will sell these two engineers as the same? And if so, the company will then say this: since the billing rates are the same, the salary for the two engineers must be the same too. Am I thinking about this wrong, or is this not widespread and only exists at firms that you've worked at? Thanks. I think it is widespread in the sense that companies will use that as a justification to suppress salaries all the time. They will say, "Oh, well, based on years of experience and your quality of the years of experience and your and your certifications, we can only bill you out at this, so it's not profitable for us. So this is what we have to pay you, and so on and so forth." And then as the employee, then your counter to that is to leave. That's or threaten to leave. That's kind of what you have as your leverage on the back end. So it's like a back and forth of like you battling with compensation at your company for ability to earn a living at a certain rate. That being said, if a company needs a skill and a competency and you can deliver it, at some point it becomes about more than just your years of experience. And that's what happened to me whenever I left my old job and I went to my new job. I got hired because I did meet some basic minimum years of experience and certification degree requirements, but really for the value that I would bring to the company. And that's a lot more than just what my billing profitability rate is on any given project. It's also based on my ability to help a project become profitable. Do engineering billing rates not allow for personalization of salaries? I mean, if you are a production engineer, that your product is the same regardless of who you are, and maybe then maybe it's a little bit harder. But then if you're able to add value and that translates directly to profitability, and then you get disconnected a little bit from that, is my view. And I've always tried my best in my career to follow the money, in the sense that the closer that you are to the money and to helping the company become profitable, the more you are able to demonstrate your value and make more money. That's just the philosophy that I've taken in my personal pursuit of my career and compensation throughout my career. And it's something that, if that's really important to you, that I encourage you to do as well. That being said, that's just my experience. So let's go to the comments in this one to see what everybody else has to say. I found that salaries will vary widely between people with the same billing rate. They shouldn't, but they do. I don't know if I agree with that. Every company I've worked at has had salary ranges for any given title. I agree with that. For instance, PM1 may range from 105 to 160. This allows the company to pay different salaries for personnel in the same category, which can reward higher performers. And that's something that I've seen as well. However, that assumes each employee is willing to go to bat for themselves and get the most money possible. If there's one thing that I've learned in 14 years as a professional, it's that companies very rarely, if ever, are willingly pay market value for an employee without being prompted to do so. I am pro merit-based salaries. But then again, I believe every person has a responsibility to themselves to make sure that their pay matches the value that they're providing the company. Yeah, exactly. Salaries and bill rates do not have to match. Salary should reflect the value that person brings to the firm, like I said, or what it takes to retain that person, kind of like what I said. Bill rates are business driven and what the firm can justify charging for the person. They should be close, but a lot of factors can drive them apart one way or the other. Yeah. So anywho, and like, for example, like you may have like a senior level person at your company and you're not making the same kind of profit on that person because they're more expensive, but their value and their knowledge and their experience is what got you the job in the first place. and then you may make a little bit more profit on some of your junior employees that are working on a project, doing the bulk of the work. There's different ways to philosophies and business decisions and ways that companies kind of go about doing this. But when I say that salaries have to 1-for-1 correlate with billing rates throughout an entire company, I'd be hard pressed to find a company that fully functions that way unless they exclusively do multiplier based billing rates, where what they bill out is directly proportional to the salary that they pay their employees. All right, well, guys, that was this week's episode of Engineering Success. I hope you guys found it insightful. And if you agreed with something I said, let me know down below in the comments. And if you disagreed, let me know in the comments as well. I always appreciate a discourse about agreement or disagreement about anything I have to say. That's kind of why I do the podcast, not because I think I'm right, but because I think that I can offer a great starting point for a conversation that people can get value out of. So anyways, I appreciate your participation in that. If you like the episode, share it with somebody you like or don't like. If you don't like the podcast, maybe share it with somebody you don't like, just to annoy them. And then make sure to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to the podcast. It's free to you and tells the algorithms that people like to listen to me. All right. Well, I've been Daniel. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.
I'm miscommunicating. I just made a pilot, then they threw me on the stations. Now I'm not complaining, My thoughts get complicated, I cannot explain in layman's. Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.